Hello, I am Mamleen. Welcome to my general mathematics class.
Good day. We are now on our fourth lesson about rational functions. Content standards. The learner demonstrates understanding of key concepts of rational functions. Performance standards. The learner is able to accurately formulate and solve real-life problems involving rational functions. For most essential learning competencies, we have the learner represents a rational function through its table of values, graph, and equation. Our lesson for today is about representations of rational functions. Let's start with a recall. Let us recall on how to represent a polynomial function problem through table, graphs, and equation. Example, I show my vendor can wrap 4 dumplings every minute. If he wraps a total of 32 dumplings, how much time did he spend wrapping? Use the following to justify your answer. Table of values, graph, equation. Now in our solution, for letter A, we will complete the table using the given information provided in the problem. Since a vendor can wrap 4 dumplings per minute, we will add 4 dumplings for every minute until we reach 32 dumplings. Our table will be, first row is the number of dumplings wrapped, and the values are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, and 32. And the second row will be the minutes. So since per minute there are 4 dumplings, so in 4 dumplings there is 1 minute. Now for 8 dumplings, therefore there are 2 minutes. For 12 dumplings, 3 minutes. 16, 4, 25, 24, 6 minutes. 28 dumplings, 7 minutes. Then for 32 dumplings, there are 8 minutes. Now next is for our letter B. So let us use the data we have in A and plot these points in a Cartesian plane. So we have the graph here, plotting the points for 4 dumplings, we have 1 minute, so on and so forth. Now the last part of the solution is for letter C. We can solve the problem by formulating a formula where we divide the total number of dumplings made by the number of dumplings per minute. In symbol, T is equal to D over N, where T is the time in minutes, D is the total number of dumplings made, N is the number of dumplings made per minute. Now, so easy, isn't it? Now let's proceed with the definition of rational function. Again, rational function is written in the form of function of f of x is equal to the function p of x over q of x. It should follow the following conditions, namely, both functions p of x and q of x are polynomial functions, wherein it has no negative and rational exponents. So, ibig sabihin nun, no radical expressions or a negative exponent and a negative exponent. The denominator of or the function q of x should not be equal to 0, else it will give you an undefined solution. Third, the domain of all values of x where q of x is not equal to 0. Next part is the function can be represented using the following table of values, graphs, and equations. Let's try this example. Define a formula for the average cost for every 5 days to stay in the resort f of x. To define the formula, use the formula in getting the average cost. Let the function be f of x. We can use the formula of getting an average. Average problems use the formula A equals to X over N, where A is the average, H is the cost, and N is the number of days. Solution. First is to let f of x represents the average cost per day, and x represent the number in days. Note that 300,000 pesos is a fixed price you need to pay plus the 700 pesos per day divided by the number of days x. So we will have the function f of x equal to 300,000 plus 700 times x divided by x. Observe that this is similar to the structure of our original formula. Note that you will be using a formula depending on the classification of problems given to you, such as average problem, time problem, speed problem, etc. Next is to, for every 5 days stay in the resort, create a table of values showing the average cost. So we're going to make the table of values with x values at 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So for x is equal to 0, the value of y is 0. If the x is equal to 5, the value of y is 60,700. If x is 10, 30,700. 15, 20,700. 20, 15,700. 25, 12,700. And 30, 10,700. From the table, we can observe that the average cost of stay decreases as time increases. So the longer you stay, the average cost decreases. We can use graph to determine if the points of this function follow a curve or a line. So plotting the points on the Cartesian plane, we have a graph that is in decreasing form, a curve in decreasing form. Now let's proceed with our next example. F of x is equal to x divided by x plus 2. Since we already have an equation, we can skip this part and proceed with the table of values. Next is to construct the table of values using the values of x from the negative 2 to 2. We can substitute each values on the equation to complete the table. We will get x is negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. Then the value of the function, if x is negative 2, it will be undefined. If it is negative 1, it will be negative 1, 0 and 0, 1 and 0.33, 2 will give 0.5. So we can observe that the value of f of x is undefined when x is negative 2. It is because when you substitute negative 2 in the function, it will have an answer of 0, whereas in the definition of rational function, we cannot have a denominator equal to 0. Next is plot the points in the Cartesian plane and determine whether the points form a smooth curve or a straight line. So let's plot the points on the Cartesian plane. Using the GeoGebra, we come up with this graph. As you can observe, it is a curve in increasing form. So it is observed that the curve or the function formed a curve. That's all for this session. Thank you for listening. Hope you've learned something. God bless.